Rant summer is here. Head on over to AJsRANTroom.com. We got all of your summer needs covered. From bathing suits to swim trunks, flip-flops and tote bags, towels, tanks, and muscle shirts. Oh, and you can't forget about the visors and the hats. It's lit. So head on over to AJsRANTroom.com and get your summer poppin'. You won't be disappointed. Thank you for tuning into the RANT Experience. This episode is brought to you by our official merch store, AJsRANTroom.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you get new uploads and live streams hot off the presses. The RANT Experience is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at
Apparently it is Friday. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try this again. Let's go over this one more time. One more time for the cheap seats. All right, cool. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome to the place where pop culture, politics, nostalgia, and all that other stuff, entertainment collide. We are locked in for the next hour or so. And so gird your loins, ladies and gentlemen, because we're gonna have a pretty good show in our lunchtime rant. This is Fun Friday, by the way. In our lunchtime rant, we will react to Erika Kirk's righteous clap back to the people. And so we'll be here, there, and everywhere, and a little bit there, and a little shimmy there. But we'll react to her video. We'll talk about the other stuff, and we have a video of the nutcase actually casing the hotel before he did the foo la la. But anyway, in our Turntable Rewind segment, we will go back to the year 1988, where we will give you the number one song, the number one album, and the number one movie in these here United States. And I have a throwback picture that actually was so crazy that when I looked at the picture, I realized that was a seed that was planted years ago that literally has me on the faith walk that I'm on now. So I can't wait to share that throwback picture with you in the AJ Throwback segment. Then in our Leave Me Alone segment, of course, we'll be laughing, we'll be laughing, we'll be laughing. And then to send you off into the weekend, we have an inspiration point and the word that will set you up to make everything all right. All that and more coming up, I promise, this time on the RANT Experience.
Thank you for tuning into the RANT Experience. This episode is brought to you by our official merch store, AJsRANTroom.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you get new uploads and live streams hot off the presses. The RANT Experience is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. And now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled program.
Alrighty. Social media. We all are, we're social mediaing right now, so we all are familiar with it. The problem with social media is it has exposed something ugly about humanity. It has shown just how cruel, inhumane, bitter, and spiritually bankrupt many people truly are. Now, do not get me wrong. Social media can be a great tool. It has been a great tool for many people. Many people have built great businesses. We've made great connections. We share ideas. We network. We inspire people. But just like everything else human beings touch, we took that tool, that real thing, that thing with so much potential, and dragged it into the mud. Social media in 2026 is pretty much a cesspool. Pointless arguments, wild conspiracy theories, ridiculous accusations, so absurd that if you actually believed it, you probably are certifiably insane. Especially if you're the one delivering the information and you really believe that, yeah, you're probably certifiably insane. There's the constant outrage, the constant bitterness, the constant people talking with authority on things they have absolutely no knowledge of. They know nothing about it, right? But as I always say, I expect nothing less from humanity, from humans, from the human beings, from the Homo sapien experience. I expect nothing less. We have a long history of taking relatively great things and turning them into dogmas, from the church to politics to television to social media. And then let's move along into the future to the year 2025, the date September 10th. That's the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated before the world. And in those days afterwards, there was something that looked like hope. It was a really hopeful small period of time, but it was really hopeful. People were leaning back into their faith. Bible sales went up. People talking about being better. People wanting to continue the mission of open dialogue, disagreement without violence, and pushing back with words instead of destruction. But no. Because whether people liked it or not, whether you liked Charlie Kirk or not, he was killed over words. He was killed because individuals on the left couldn't counter his perspectives with facts, evidence, persuasion, or debate. So, like too many broken ideologues, they turned to violence. But after those first weeks, the energy shifted to something really dark, really menacing, right. And right there at the center of that twisted turn was Candace Owens. She went from, I stand with Erika Kirk. Erika Kirk is the only one that could tell me to stop. She went from that to endless suspicion campaigns. Houseway. We went from support to salacious content. We went from compassion to feeding people's worst instincts. Even after Erika wasted her time sitting down with Candace, she literally wasted her time. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of a meeting. It was a waste of space, right? And now here's a woman who lost her husband less than 8 months ago, dealing with the kind of harassment that would break a lot of people mentally. Yeah, most of us wouldn't be able to get through the crap that this woman. I don't even want to open my social media as Erika Kirk. I would just not do it. There is no credible evidence that Erika Kirk had anything to do with her husband's death. What the public does know is authorities identified another suspect and pursued charges in that case. We heard a lot of the evidence that Candace Owens and many of those other people have been asking for. You got a lot of it, and it still wasn't enough. It's like the Epstein files. You could release a billion Epstein files, and it still will not be enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but that's the real world. The real world, we have somebody charged. We have somebody with a whole lot of evidence. He's really not saying I didn't do it. No one other than we have some fake recording of grandparents saying he was framed, but his own father turned him in. So we have all of this stuff stacked against this person, and we're on social media. Not me, but several folks are on social media. Facts don't matter. The facts don't matter once bloodlust enters the chat. Oh yeah, because we're depraved creatures at this point. We don't care about human beings. We're living in these two-dimensional worlds right now, right? We're two dimensions, right? We're not 3D. There's no touch, there's no smell, there's right. So you just think, oh, you just see an image of a person, you can treat them like crap and be okay with it, right? Now let's fast forward to the White House Correspondents Dinner last weekend. A room full of media, politics, celebrities, cameras, power, all the good stuff. And right in the middle of all that, Erika Kirk was there. Then a deranged subhuman decides this is the right moment to attempt the life of our sitting president. Let's take this moment to try to get into the ballroom to wreck shop. Well, we all know he crashed and burned and failed within moments of his stupid attempt, and probably is sitting there regretting every moment of it right now because your life is gone. Your life is gone, and I don't even know why you're not dead, but that's another conversation for another day. But the chaos was enough to trigger somebody already carrying trauma. Erika Kirk, right? Erika is seen crying. She, of course, we're at the dinner. Of course, there are cameras everywhere. She's walking past the camera, and she's like, "I just want to go home." Mm-hmm. And what did the internet do? Did they show compassion? Some did. Did they show understanding? A few people did. Yeah. Did they show basic humanity? Some people did, of course. But then you have this faction that no matter what this woman does, no matter how well she does something or doesn't, they're going to mock her. They're going to call it performative. They're going to laugh at her tears. They're going to turn pain into cheap content. Mm-hmm. They're going to turn this woman's grief into profit. That is their goal. I'm going to be the lowest form of a human being with no facts and no evidence and still call myself a conservative. Uh-huh. And mock a widow. And then not only am I call myself a conservative, I'm going to call myself a Christian too, and then mock a widow. Mm-hmm. That's one of the lowest forms of humankind. Literally is. So Erika had enough. She said, you know what? I've tried to ignore it. And she kind of goes through these things where she'll ignore it for a period of time, and then she'll come back and she's like, look, I'm going to just say it one more time. So she went on the platform carrying her late husband's name and sat there and dressed in all black and said what she had to say. And then she moved on. And I have to be honest with y'all, I'm torn. On the one hand, I understand defending your name, defending, her husband's legacy. I understand all of that. I understand defending your honor. I understand it. I get it. That's human nature. But on the other hand, I also think about Jesus Christ standing before false accusers and often choosing silence. Not every lie deserves your energy. Not every accusation deserves your response. Not every fool deserves front row access to your peace. Woo. But here's the truth. There are people who are going to hate you no matter what you do. No matter what. There's going to be a critique. We're going to find something wrong with it. They do it to Donald Trump all the time, right? Now with Erika Kirk, if she cries, it's fake tears. If Erika doesn't cry, she's moved on too fast. If Erika laughs, how dare she? If Erika frowns, why is she so angry? If Erika goes outside, she abandoned her kids. If Erika stays inside, what is she hiding? If Erika eats pancakes, that's suspicious. If Erika eats waffles, that's very interesting. You see how insane that is? How absolutely batshit crazy all of that sounds? That no matter what somebody does, you're going to be incensed. You're going to be making 40 videos. I can't believe it. People laughing because she has a life that you don't have the courage to build. Yeah, I said it. This was never about getting to the truth. Like this whole I'm asking questions campaign was never about getting to the truth. Because if it was about getting to the truth, why haven't any of you monkeys shown up on the UVU campus investigating? Nothing. Investigative reporters go into the field. I said this about y'all queen last week. She's investigative and reporting right from her comfortable multi-million-dollar estate. Okay. It was never about truth. It was never about justice. It was never about evidence. This was about people needing a villain because misery requires company. And that's the real sickness of social media. A lot of people online are bleeding emotionally and using other people as bandages. Oh, yes, they're going to bleed out. Yeah. A lot of folks are broken privately and vicious publicly. Yeah, the most vicious ones are the most miserable privately. So they're just lashing out. I've been doing this long enough to know the difference. a lot of these folks got marriages in shambles, homes in chaos, kids out of control, finances upside down, but somehow got unlimited energy to obsess over strangers. Yeah. And then they project all of that pain outward. And even in my comment section, like the last live stream I did about Candace, I think was Friday or Monday, I don't remember. And you had the cult mongrels, the cult monkeys in the near. You don't even watch Candace. No, I don't. Not anymore. I used to watch Candace. Yeah. And then it just became stupid. It became reductive to watch Candace. What am I watching this for? It's not feeding me politically. It's not feeding me socially. It's not feeding me on Americanism. It's feeding me on conspiracy theories and hot button issues. And now you've just jumped off the cliff. You've jumped the shark. So once you've jumped the shark, I got off November? Yeah, November I was done. Yeah. When we got to that first week in November, I said, yeah, this is not going to work anymore. Yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah, we're good. So yeah, stop projecting your pain outward. And how about you go get some therapy? How about you talk to your spouse? Maybe get out of the marriage that you've been so miserable in for years, or maybe fix it instead of lashing out at people on social media you don't know. But this is why discernment matters. This is why peace matters. This is why logging off and going out and touch grass matters. There was this woman yesterday that clapped back at one of my friends on social media. Shout out to Prince. Clapped back at her and said, he was basically like, go touch grass, get off social media, go touch grass. So she films herself out walking with her kids out in the forest. I'm like, no, you missed the whole plot. Why are you recording yourself being fake happy? Yeah, you're being fake happy. When I'm off, I'm off. That's why, no, why didn't you document your road? No, for what? That's for me. It's not for you. Documented nothing. I'm good. Get the hell on with that. Go out and touch grass. Well, how would you just take the advice and go touch grass, right? And truly find some happiness, because clearly you're performing for the camera right now. As soon as you hit stop, you were miserable again. Yeah, yeah. Miserable, fat, again. But anyway. Anyway, log off for a little bit. Yeah, go touch some grass, right? Because some of these people are not critics. They are casualties. Now, was her clapback righteous? Absolutely, it was. Was it understandable? Absolutely, I get it. Now, was it necessary? AJ, I'm still not sure, right? Because when people are committed to hating you, clarity it rarely cures them, right? Clearing it up, saying your piece, they're rarely going to come around. Very, very rare, right? Especially right now because the block is hot, and you could probably make more money hating Erika Kirk than you can supporting her, right? And pretty much, right? So sometimes the best response is to keep living, right? Sometimes the best clapback is peace. Sometimes the best revenge is refusing to become what tried to destroy you. And to those sitting online judging every breath another person takes, let's see you put your own life in the public square for 24 hours. For strangers to pick apart like vultures and other scavengers. Let's see how you handle your secrets in the white lights, in the hot white lights. Let's see how you would handle it. Mm-hmm. Or even the things that didn't happen. Like people will say, you said I did X, and then people start adding their own spins to it and remixing it, and you wouldn't be able to take it. Most of y'all wouldn't be able to take it. Most of you will be on suicide watch by dinner time. That's why a lot of y'all limit y'all comments, turn the comments off, because you can't handle getting berated because of your trauma. My trauma. My mother smacked me across the face. I got trauma. My daddy didn't come back. I got trauma. Well, you don't care about this woman's trauma, so why are you asking for grace? You can't give grace, but you want grace. At your convenience. What lulala we living in? Now let's get to the actual clapback video because it's like 8 minutes long. So we're gonna try to push through this really quickly. But she said a lot, but we got time today. Shout out to Tinashe Peter.
It seems to me that nothing will ever be enough for the evil in this world. Our country has become unrecognizable. These people have perverted the truth to the point that they motivated the murder of my husband. They have continuously tried to assassinate the president, and anyone who stands in their way is labeled hateful, racist, fascist, and every other trigger word that is grossly dishonest. We want the best for our country. They don't. This is why Charlie started Turning Point USA in the first place. He didn't trust the radicalized liberal teachers. And this past Saturday, it was a school teacher, of all people, a school teacher that attempted to change our history for the worst with bullets. And everyone is asking why I even went to the White House Correspondents Dinner.
Because she could. I'm gonna say, because she did it righteous. I'm quoting her. I'm not a grown woman. I'm a grown woman who could do what the hell I want. You was out in the club. You got 4 kids at home with and got your child molesting uncle babysitting them, but I can't. Go to the White House Correspondents Dinner. Huh?
And it was because many of the journalists in that room have attempted to dehumanize me, and I wanted to meet some of them.
Yeah, that's the best. When you meet one of these monkeys in face to face and you like, yeah, well, and then they're all nice. They cool. They don't want no beef. What happened to all that energy, all that smoke?
Quite frankly, why have a conversation about me when you can have a conversation with
Facts.
me? So, for example, a journalist from the Daily Mail came up to me. She introduced herself, and she was very gracious. She was saying, "You look so beautiful. I'm so sorry for your loss." To which I replied, "It is so nice to put a name to the face."
She wanted to say the B word.
especially with all of the slander, the lies, accusations that are out there surrounding my husband's murder and myself.
Hmm.
And I said to her, you know what's so interesting? This is my first time at the White House Correspondents Dinner. And I find it so fascinating, the dynamic that is going on right now, because everyone is all dressed up and you guys are co-mingling in and out of each other's cocktail parties. And so for one night, you are able to put aside all of your differences for the sake of freedom of speech.
Yep.
And then by Monday morning, things will go back to being an absolute bloodbath between all of you. To which she replied, literally, she said, I know. Isn't it special, right?
No, it's not special. It's I can't say that word. It's mental. That's what it is. Right. You know, like you're just willing to do this for profit. That's literally what y'all doing this for. Y'all doing this for money. Y'all will catfight, escalate the argument, escalate. And then as soon as everything is done, y'all going to have a drink. Meanwhile, you got people out here battling each other. You got monkeys that are going to come into the comments of this on the replay. Shut up.
Isn't tonight so special? And following that conversation, it was time to take our seats, and we went into the big ballroom where the dinner was. And one of the first things I noticed when I walked into that room was quite literally the proximity of the opposing outlets to one another. So you have one table here that's Politico, and another table here that's Fox, and another table here that's WAPO, and you're all crammed together, elbow to elbow. And to make the night even more of a spectacle, every single 10-person table had 10 bottles of wine.
Lit. It's about to get lit.
And the president of the White House Correspondents Association, she did a great job of trying to make the evening have that feeling of Americana. You know, we were in a room celebrating freedom of speech despite our differences. And the U.S. Marine Band performed the national anthem so beautifully. And then shortly thereafter, gunshots rang out and total chaos ensued. And you guys have all seen what happened next because there are 1,000 videos of it. So let's discuss that fact for a second. If you were in that room, you had no way of knowing what the status of the shooter was, how many there were, or honestly, really anything. It was just utter chaos.
Right.
And so during an active shooting, these journalists are using their phones to find moments to capture for clips.
Jesus.
They were so concerned about getting a video in a room with an active shooter that they could have accidentally and quite literally filmed themselves being shot.
That's insane. The last thing I'm thinking about, if God forbid I'm ever in an active shooter situation, is, oh yeah, let me record it. I don't understand it. I get, you know, being on and ready to get the story, but really, at what point do you stop yourself and say, this is crazy? I probably should make sure I'm good first.
Many of those people have become so desensitized that fight or flight became secondary to the opportunity of putting themselves into the story, which ironically breaks the number one rule.
Boom. You are not the story. But you're trying to make yourself the story because you have a following, you have a platform, and you want to be able to get this video. And some of them were probably even writing captions as the shoot. They didn't even know what was happening. They probably shot the video, was writing the caption right there on the ground, trying to send it out. These people are crazy.
And again, ironically enough, the shooter was a teacher. You have these people who are supposed to be teaching our children the future of this country, and he's so unhinged that he is able to teach children by day and then attempt to murder the president of the United States by night.
That's, yeah. This dummy threw his whole life away, and he didn't even get close to fulfilling the mission. This moron We'll watch a video of him in a moment. This moron woke up on the other side of the country days before, got on a train, took the train to Chicago, was still so warped up and worked up, went from Chicago to DC and said, yeah, I'ma still do it. Checked into the hotel, said, yeah, I'ma still do it. I don't know how long the train trip is across country. I think it takes a week, maybe a week, or yeah, something like that. But you were that unhinged that you had all of that peace time, to really think through everything and say and stop yourself, and you didn't. And the only thing that I'm upset about here is that you're not dead. Oh yeah, this Cole, what is it? Cole Thomas Allen. Yeah, he should be dead. The fact that he even survived is annoying to me. I want to see I want to see a tomato splashed up against the wall. That's what I want to see. That's what we're owed at this point. When you do something stupid, you should get a stupid result. Although you're going to get a pretty dumb result. You're going to get a great result. It's called life in prison, you dummy.
And in his manifesto, he starts by contextualizing himself by saying, I am a citizen of the United States of America.
No ish. We're so happy for you, sir. You're now a convicted felon in the United States. You will be shortly a convicted felon in the United States of America. An otherwise smart guy, an otherwise guy who probably, if he had just, went and got the help he needed and just, again, went out and touched grass instead of fixating in this social media space all day. Oh my God, Trump did this. Oh my God. Blue Sky has created probably some of the most wackadoodle people in this world right now. And nobody's checking that, right? Nobody's checking that. Sometimes you can't even say Trump's name around some people without them going into fits. You should probably go get checked.
And while we may have big problems with illegal immigration in this country, I have to tell you, we have an even bigger problem when it comes to the systemic indoctrination and radicalization of our own citizens.
Facts.
This is what got my husband killed.
Yep. Rhetoric. Baseless, dumb rhetoric. That's what got Charlie Kirk killed. That's what's getting the lives threatened of all these conservative influencers. Yes. Misinformation. What is it? Nazi, fascist, threat to democracy, constitutional threat, all of this stuff. Yeah, it's all unfounded. It's all ridiculous. But y'all insist on believing it because you like the person who's saying it. No. You got to question even the people you like.
This is what has led to 3 legitimate attempts on President Trump's life. And I can speak firsthand to that unbearable toll that this must take on our First Lady.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
There has never been a president who has faced this many assassination attempts in Americans' entire history.
And those are the ones we know of, mind you. This is the ones we know, right? I could imagine all the foiled plans, all the stuff that they unpacked before the dummy even got it off the ground. Yes.
After each one, the reaction from the far left has been, at best, a shrug, and in some cases, a sick disappointment that the shooter was unsuccessful. We are all human beings. And if you can just pause and just take a minute and ask yourself, how would you feel if even just one person made cruel jokes about the attempted murder of your loved one?
They don't care. I'll tell you, they don't care. But what they will want is your empathy, your sympathy, your grace, your prayers. Yeah, they will want your assistance, your help. Right. And here's the thing. I wish you get all of those things in excellence. All the grace, all the support, all the help. right? Even though you didn't do it when someone else needed it. Yeah, I hope you get it. Yeah.
That is what Jimmy Kimmel did to the First Lady. He said that she had the glow of an expected.
And then tried to play dumb. Well, I was no. I was just saying it was the age difference. No, you dummy. You know this is a man who has had threat after threat on his life, and you're going to sit up here and make that type of joke. You're an idiot.
The glow of an expected widow. Just 48 hours before that nightmare almost became a reality. In this culture we're living in, absorbs disagreement as a form of personal betrayal. It turns having an opposing viewpoint into a moral crime worthy of punishment. And here's what I've realized through all of this, truly, having lived through quite literal hell these past 7 months, if you strip someone of their humanity long enough, you will arrive at the chilling conclusion that they don't deserve to.
Facts. Do it all the time, Even my little small account, I get little, I hope you die, you should be blah, 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 I want to blah, blah, blah you. And I'm like, geez, if I'm getting it on this small level, what are they getting on that big scale? What are they getting? What are they reading? Jeez. Yeah, that's why I tell people to go out and touch grass. Go look people in the eye. Yeah. Go shake some hands. Go hug some people. Yes. You need to do that because it reminds you that ultimately this is fake. This is a 2D image. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She has a real life. I have a real life. Other people have a real life. So you got to look beyond that.
Every morning I wake up to a new headline lying about me. I have comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO.
Ooh. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the Drewski sketch was funny, but then when he said his intention behind it, it wasn't. It was no longer funny to me. Because comedy is supposed to come from a place of pain and it's supposed to tell the truth. That's good comedy. Good comedy tells the truth, right? You can take the worst of the worst situations and find the light, the light of humor in it. Brilliant people who are great at that: Richard Pryor, Joan Rivers, George Carlin. Yeah, they're brilliant. Eddie Murphy, great at those types of situations. What these people are doing, these social media comedians, because he's not even a real comedian. He doesn't do stand up. Like they pressured him into doing stand up, and he bombed, right? Because he's not a stand up comedian. He's just like a funny person on social media.
And I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my.
Oh. And if she could have grabbed a little bit of that nappy hair right in that moment. I'm giving the narration of what she, she's being righteous. I'll be the ratchet to the righteous.
And the list goes on and on and on.
Call it out. No valid proof that this woman did anything to her husband. All you have is a bunch of lame storytellers telling you, hey, this might have happened, that might have happened, I don't know. Nobody cares. What facts do you have?
There is a serious epidemic of dehumanization plaguing this country.
Facts.
The most unthinkable tragedies have now become commonplace in our daily headlines, and yet the media finds a way to conveniently explain away violence.
All the time. They will literally, they explained away Charlie Kirk's death. They explained away the assassination attempts on Trump. They explain away other political violence that comes from the left. They explain away these trans school shooters. They explain away these gay school shooters. They explain away all these people. But as soon as it's a straight white man, Now we can find nuance and now we can hold people accountable. Oh, okay, got it.
This is what we're up against. This is what we're up
Facts.
against. What is happening right now is something none of us can afford to ignore. The evil forces working to divide us, to distract us, and to pull us apart has never been stronger. This is a moment for Americans to come together and decide what kind of country we are going to be before we lose our country altogether. In Romans chapter 12, verse 21, it says, "Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good." And this is why my husband created Turning Point USA, so we could have civil discourse and debate and open dialogue, because when we stop talking to each other...
Well, yes and no, because Charlie really tried to do that and still a horrible thing happened. So we're just too far gone at this point. And, just keep that security tight and, hopefully, nothing happens when you're out and about in this world, because these people are unhinged at this moment, But yeah, I miss the TikTok where you go live and have a debate with somebody and they're not threatening your life. They're not trying to use the Second Amendment as a ploy to end your life. Yeah, I miss those days where you could just have the debate, just have the discussion, right? And then move on, right? But it's not like, oh, now I got to, call the police. Now I got to file a police report. Now I got to file a restraining order. I got to do all that. Why do people have to do that to have a disagreement on politics or policy? It's ridiculous because people have been consuming the internet like it's the real world. For the 5th time, go out and touch grass.
I am choosing to fight for America, for my children, for your children, and for our humanity.
Amen.
Because we all need to do our part. And by the grace of God, we will succeed, and America will remain what she was always called to be, a shining city on a hill, a light to the world.
Amen.
So let me give you a perfect example of how it's done. My husband did it best and left us the blueprint on how to have uncomfortable conversations with those who disagree. Buckle up, everybody. Here we go.
Here we go. And go we will. I don't think she needs to say anything else to these mongrels. I don't think she needs to address these people ever again. I think go on with it. Let this person have their trial, Tyler Robinson. Let him go fry. Hopefully we can get a public hanging. Hopefully Utah can clear that before he's convicted. And then that's just my wish. That's my wish. He killed Charlie in the town square. We should be able to do the same. So anyway, before we move on to our happy part of the show, I want to show the footage of this mongrel casing the hotel, and then the moment he ran up on the police and the Secret Service. So this is him casing the joint. The video has no audio. Now it looks like he's kind of talking to himself as well. So he might be a little loop-de-loop already. He looks like he's talking to himself here. So this is him using his key card to get into the hotel. This is the gym, the hotel gym. This is a nice hotel gym. I've never seen a hotel gym look this nice. I've been to some nice ones, but this is really nice. Look how nice that is. But he's casing the joint. Then he goes up to the attendant and he says something to her. I wonder if she'll testify at the trial. What did he say to you? Uncomfortable lean over. She's looking at him like he's crazy. All right. Then he walks. And so then this is him casing the joint. Okay, I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it. I'm about to be a hero. 9:06 p.m. walking through the hallways. I'm about to be lit. Yeah. And then here he is with the thing strapped on his back and the trench coat on with all the accoutrements in his pockets. And now he's going to do the deed. This is it. This is his victory lap, ladies and gentlemen. So yes, so the Secret Service will now and the police are now breaking down the metal detectors because everybody's inside. Nobody's allowed out, obviously. And then he's gonna walk past the screen. You'll see the circle at the top. He's gonna walk past as they're breaking them down the metal detectors. There he goes. So then the dummy storms through, and this is where he should have died. That's where he should have died. But unfortunately, he was just arrested. I believe in handing out stupid prizes to stupid people. So, anyway, we'll of course follow whatever happens to him, whether he pleads or kills himself in jail, whatever he decides to do. We'll follow it. I don't really care. I don't. Y'all know how I feel about that. Once you do the unthinkable, just go. Just go. Like, what are we even doing at this point? Anyway, let's get to the happy part of the show. We will be back with our Turntable Rewind.
Thank you for tuning into the RANT Experience. This episode is brought to you by our official merch store, AJsRANTroom.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you get new uploads and live streams hot off the presses. The RANT Experience is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. And now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled program.
Rewind back to the time. The year is 1988 in the social media streets. And the number one song in the country is Where Do Broken Hearts Go by the late, great Whitney Houston. Now, it's no secret. Well, maybe it is, but it won't be anymore. I do not like the song. But by May 1st, 1988, Whitney Houston had secured her seventh number one consecutive hit with this track, setting a Billboard record that highlighted her unmatched vocal dominance in the late 80s. The song from her album Whitney helped push the project to massive commercial success, contributing to over 10 million copies sold in the United States alone. At a time when physical sales and radio airplay drove charts, Whitney wasn't just popular, she was defining the sound of mainstream pop and R&B. And the number one album in the United States on this day in 1988 was the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. Still sitting pretty at number one on this day in 1988. This soundtrack was one of the biggest albums of the decade, fueled by hits like I've Had the Time of My Life. It became a cultural staple and went on to sell over 14 million copies in the United States and more than 30 million worldwide. Its success showed how film soundtracks could dominate the music industry, bridging movies and radio in a way that defined late 80s pop culture. And we finally broke my 3-week streak because we're back on the I didn't see it streak. The number one movie in these here United States on this day in 1988 was Beetlejuice, leading the box office with roughly $10 to $12 million the weekend of May 1st. On its way to a total domestic gross of $74 million, a strong performance for a quirky offbeat comedy directed by Tim Burton and starring Michael Keaton. The film's unique style and dark humor helped become a lasting cult classic, proving that unconventional storytelling could still win with mainstream audiences. Now, the year 1988 was, a pretty cool year in the ether. So let's talk about it a little bit. 1988 wasn't just a year in music. It was a whole mood. It was an attitude. It was a style. It was a confidence. It was one of those years where nobody, no matter what you did or what you were doing, no matter what lane you were in, there was something legendary playing out of somebody's speakers. See, in 1988, music still had identity. You knew what was rap. You knew what was R&B. You knew what was rock and roll. You knew what was pop. You knew what was country. Everybody had their own lane and everybody was trying to dominate it. Now let's start at the top. Michael Jackson was still moving like the biggest entertainer on earth. He was steadfast in the bad era, and if everything was in full swing, he was on the bad tour, packing stadiums worldwide. His videos were cinematic performances on another level. Michael wasn't just making songs, he was making moments. The man could blink on stage, and people would absolutely lose their minds. Then you had George Michael with Faith. Smooth, stylish, grown man, cool. That album was everywhere. George Michael proved he wasn't just some teen heartthrob. Sorry, the screen went black. Okay, there we go. George Michael proved he wasn't just some teen heartthrob left over from the early days. Nah, he became a full-fledged superstar. And of course, we just talked about her. She had the number one song on this day. Whitney Houston was still reigning with one of the greatest voices we've ever heard. Back then, talent actually mattered. Yeah, the music industry has always been about politics, but you had to have talent first, right? You couldn't auto-tune your way into greatness. You had to sing. And Whitney Houston sang circles around the industry. Now let's shift gears. Because 1988 was one of the most important years in hip hop history. NWA dropped straight out of Compton and changed the whole temperature. Raw, aggressive, unfiltered. They brought the streets directly to the mainstream. America couldn't ignore rap after that. And then you had Public Enemy. They came with "It takes a nation of millions to hold us back." It was political, it was powerful, it was revolutionary. Chuck D sounded like the evening news with bass behind it. Facts. And while NWA and Public Enemy were shaking up the system, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince were proving rap could cross over big. Parents Just Don't Understand became the first rap record in history to win a Grammy for Best Rap Performance. Historic, even while the culture called out the Grammys for not actually televising the win. That's what made 1988 so special. Hip hop wasn't one thing. It was party, it was street, it was political, it was stylish, and it was a movement in music all at once. Now let's talk about rhythm and blues, R&B. Bobby Brown hit with "Don't Be Cruel" and had the whole world moving. That was confidence in music. That was fresh cut, leather jacket, chain shining, dance floor energy. Yeah, Bobby was that guy. Uh, Bobby Brown was pressure in 1988. And while all of that was going down, MTV still ran youth culture. Some of y'all don't understand this ever. Before algorithms, before TikTok, before streaming, MTV could make you famous. One hot video and your whole life changed. If your video was in rotation, you were outside. If it wasn't, good luck. And let's not forget the technology of the time. Boom boxes on your shoulder, cassette tapes in your car, mixtapes dubbed from your cousin's radio recorder, Walkmans on the bus, rewinding a tape with a pencil when it got jammed. That was real commitment. Today, folks hit one button and skip after 7 seconds. Back then, if you bought an album, you lived with it. You learned every track. Even the weak songs got played. Now, fashion, 1988 had flavor. Leather jackets, acid wash jeans, gold chains, hip hop high top fades, fresh sneakers, big earrings, colors that had no business matching, but somehow they made it work. People dressed like they wanted to be seen, and here's the biggest difference between then and now. In 1998, stars felt larger than life. There was mystery, there was buildup, there was anticipation. You waited for the album, you waited for the video premiere, you waited for the award show performance. Now, everybody overshares everything. Too much access kills mystique, and that's why 1988 still hits different. It was the sound of confidence, the sound of competition, the sound of culture moving fast, the sound of artists trying to be great, not just viral. So if somebody asks you what 1988 meant, tell them it was Michael moonwalking, Whitney soaring, Bobby gliding, George styling, NWA shaking the system, Public Enemy speaking truth, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince making history, and MTV controlling the youth. That wasn't just a year. That was an era. Hallelujah. Praise God. Won't he do it? Now it's time for an AJ throwback. Alrighty then. All right, cool. So remember I said there's a picture that comes like sort of like full circle, or you saw that seeds have been planted in your life. So I remember this shoot very clearly. We were at the Brooklyn Bridge. I worked with this photographer that I met through my former boss at one of the studios I worked at, and he was cool. I didn't really know him like that, but I knew him, as the friend of the boss or whatever. So anyway, he's a dope photographer. He always did the photo shoots for the studio, and so I was like, he's a great photographer. I want to work with him. So cool. We set it up. He actually worked with my dance company, and then he worked with me solo. And so we set up the shoot early in the morning. It's one thing to get up early. It's another thing to get up early and have to look decent. Yeah, totally different. So we got up, we did a whole bunch of setups. We went back to his car and I changed my clothes. I don't know how many times, but I like this setup. I probably shared other angles and other setups from this look, but there was something particularly funny about this moment. Not funny, but just foretelling, right? Because the whole prayer thing, I wasn't praying. I wasn't into no God. I wasn't into no Jesus. I wasn't into no church. I didn't want no parts. Don't talk to me about none of that. I don't want to hear it. You heard? I want to hear it. So here's the crazy thing. So after we mind you, we shot for probably like 6 hours. We were up at like sunrise, shot for a whole bunch of hours. And then he's like, oh yeah, I need to go have lunch with some friends. And he's like, you free to come or whatever, or you can get on the train or whatever. And so I was like, I'll go, whatever. Now what he did not tell me was that he was meeting up with brothers from the church. So they were coming together at the time, I didn't know what it was called. Now it's called fellowship. I know now it's called fellowshipping. And so they're sitting there, they got the Bibles out, they talking all this boop, bop, 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 bop. And I'm just like, why am I here? Why am I here? I don't want to hear this. I want to be I want to get on with my day, and he's sitting there and they're just bobbling. And I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, it would be a totally different experience now if that were to happen. Be like, yo, blah, 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 blah. I'll be fellowshipping too. But I was just sitting there quiet. I didn't know what to say. I'm like, look, I'm good. Get me out of here. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so yeah, that's the story, coming full circle, the spiritual walk, the God walk, the Jesus walk, the walk, we walk the walk, and we've made it. Hallelujah. Praise God. Won't he do it? Anyway, man, leave me alone.
So just leave me alone.
This is more of a black person thing to do. Yeah. This is more of a black person thing to do. She's probably f***ing a black dude. Fat white woman and she's f***ing a black dude. Probably f***ing a black dude. Fat white woman and she's f***ing a black dude. This is more of a black person.
If you're a grown man and can't bench 225 pounds, try this instead.
1, 2. That's it. That's it. Move.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but one day your best friend will be gone. Here are 6 questions you need to ask them before that day comes.
Why are you gay?
It's hot on the bottom. It's hot on the bottom. Okay. It's hot on the bottom!
We need y'all to get out of here with your signs.
What do you mean? Oh, you have borders on this campus.
No, we have this space reserved as an official event.
Yeah, so you have borders. Where's your borders at?
This whole green area right here.
Oh, so you want to control who comes in and out. Like an ICE agent or a border patrol agent.
Got him.
You wouldn't dare act like a fascist, would you? I would really encourage you on a rally on a campus. This is an event for sanctuary campuses. You probably shouldn't act like a fascist border patrol agent. You should take down your borders and let whoever wants on the space, okay? Why is your lip quivering? Because you've been called out on how you're acting exactly like how you don't, what you're advocating against. You're acting just like them. So if you believe in illegal aliens allowing to have sanctuary on this campus, put your money where your mouth is, leave me alone, and let me have sanctuary on this campus, okay?
People gonna talk. Ain't got time for that. Just stop.
The last time the Alien Enemies Act was invoked, it was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI.
This is the longest trip that I have ever taken. This is the first trip you've ever taken. Y'all sure she not infertile? I could have sworn we would have hit the egg by now. No, she can't be infertile because when he, did his little thing, he was like, I'm gonna put my baby in you. I'm gonna put my baby in you. Right, so it gotta be a baby up in this bitch somewhere. Bitch, we is the babies. We just looking for a home. Hello. Wait a minute.
Get it out of. Get it out of. Come on. Let me go. Anyway. I just can't help myself sometimes. Anyway, we will land at our inspiration point in a moment.
Thank you for tuning into the RANT Experience. This episode is brought to you by our official merch store, AJsRANTroom.com. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you get new uploads and live streams hot off the presses. The RANT Experience is live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. And now, let's get back to our regularly scheduled program.
Don't marry the person you can have fun with. Marry the person you can suffer with. Anyone can love you when life is good, when the sun is shining, the money is flowing, the smiles come easy. That part is simple, but love isn't proven on the best days. Love is revealed in the worst ones, when life hits hard, when the nightmare starts, when everything feels uncertain. Romance isn't vacations and photos. Romance is who sits next to you in the ER waiting room at 3 a.m., who holds your hand when the future feels terrifying, who looks at the broke, exhausted, messy version of you and still chooses you, still stays, still fights for you. Because anyone can be your playmate in the sunshine, but the right person, they're the one willing to walk through hell.
Facts. It's all fun and games when life is going well, when the money is abundant, when everybody's healthy and all is good. Now throw a monkey wrench in all of that, and that will tell you where somebody really stands. Get sick, get in a car accident, have somebody significant to you die, something like that. All life happens to all of us, right? So yeah. That's the kind of love you want. Not this beautiful, magical Instagram love where it's always beautiful, it's always pretty, it's always on point. No, it's not. There are times where, yeah, you're like, why am I here? And then you get reminded of that every single time. So yeah. Find that kind of love. Otherwise, what are we doing? Why are we even trying this here? But anyway, before we move on to the word, if you'd like to support the channel, you can head on over to AJsRANTroom.com. That's AJsRANTroom.com. I'm wearing the hoodie. This is a yellow version. It's available, and you can see hold on, let me go back here for a second. It has to like little details. You know, I love details when I create stuff. And on the back is a big American flag. But I'm not going to do all of that right now. But yes, head on over to AJsRANTroom.com. And then if you'd like to support me going to be a vendor at AmFest this year, you can go to givesendgo.com/AJsRANTroom. That's givesendgo/AJsRANTroom. Or scan that beautiful red QR code on your screen. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, in this case a tea, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/AJsRANTroom, or you can scan that beautiful buy me a coffee QR code right there on your screen. And make sure you support me across all social media platforms. I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, and I am on the TikToks. I appreciate you in advance. And then also, please make sure you like this live stream if you're watching right now. Hit the notification bell if you're a new subscriber so you get notified every time I go live or upload new content. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Thank you kindly. Now let's get into the word. So we're reading from 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7, verses 4 through 7. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. So this passage is one of the clearest biblical definitions of what real love looks like in action. Love is a verb. It's not merely romance, feelings, and nice words. It's a way of being that reflects the character of God. Mm-hmm. The Apostle Paul wrote this to the church in Corinth, where people were dealing with division, pride, jealousy, and selfishness. He explains that spiritual gifts, talents, knowledge, and religious activity mean little without love. So let's break it down. Love is patient. Real love can endure inconvenience, flaws, delays, and immaturity in others without quitting immediately. It gives room for growth. And kind. Love is not only tolerant, it is active in goodness. It looks for ways to help, encourage, comfort, and uplift. Love does not envy. Love does not resent another person's blessing, success, beauty, opportunity, talents, or joy. It can celebrate others without bitterness or boast. Love does not need to be constantly advertised itself. Social media couples, pay attention. Dominate conversations or seek applause. It is not arrogant. Love is humble. It does not walk around feeling superior or treating others as beneath it or rude. Love respects people. It is considerate, not dismissive, degrading, crude, or needlessly harsh. It does not insist on its own way. Love is not obsessed with control. It can compromise. It can listen and value someone else's needs. It is not irritable. Love is not easily triggered or constantly angry over small offenses. It's not resentful. Love does not keep score. It does not store every wrong in a mental file cabinet for future revenge. And it does not rejoice in wrongdoing. Love does not celebrate sin, corruption, humiliation, lies, or another person's downfall, but rejoices with truth. Love celebrates with it what is right, holy, honest, and real, even when the truth is uncomfortable. Love bears all things. Love helps carry burdens. It remains steady under pressure. Believe all things. This does not mean gullible blindness. It means love chooses trust over cynical suspicion whenever possible. Hopes all things. Love believes redemption, healing, and growth are possible and endures all things. Love remains faithful through hardship, seasons, struggle, disappointment, and pain. So, the big picture here, ladies and gentlemen, the passage teaches that love is proven by behavior, not by declarations. Anyone can say, I love you. Scripture asks, are you patient? Are you kind? Are you humble? Are you truthful? Are you faithful under pressure? This is also a mirror of how Jesus Christ loves people. He's patient, truthful, sacrificial, and enduring. When reading this passage, many believers use it as a self check. How do I treat family? How do I handle conflict? Do I love only when it's easy? Is my love emotional, or is it godly? Biblical love is not primarily a feeling. It is discipline. It is truth. It is sacrifice. It is character in motion. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yes, yes. So to tie it back to our inspiration point, yeah, you can't just be like, I love you, and then do the bare minimum. No, no, no. Love requires sacrifice. Yes, absolutely. Amen. Hallelujah. Anyway, thank you all for watching today. We're a little over time, but I had a lot to say today, and it's Friday. But anyway, to some of you, this might be just another podcast, but to me, this is my next chapter in purpose, and I thank you for lending me some of your time. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you chose to give me a few moments of your day, and for that, I'm grateful. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, have a great weekend. I'm out.